Thank you for listening to Dream 10X Radio, where we interview people attempting to live extraordinary lives. Our twofold purpose is to both direct and inspire people bold enough to do the same. Dream 10X. Face your fears and make your life count. Hi, and thanks for tuning in to episode 3 of the Dream 10X podcast. In this episode, we talk to the Jordan family, not the Vaughn family, as you will soon hear me make that mistake. It's the Jordan family. The Jordan family is composed of Steve and Liz Jordan and Vaughn and Aiden, their two sons, 16 and 15 respectively. Steve and Liz both know Cindy back from her Hawaii days, her days in the Navy when they were all stationed in Hawaii. Since then, Steve and Liz have spent a considerable amount of time working for the federal government overseas, and they have just brought their family back to the United States for the first time in many, many years, and are now adjusting to American life again up in Maryland. And we invited them over for dinner and twisted their arm into being on our Dream 10X podcast. So we got a chance to talk to them after dinner and ask them a bit about what their dreams and aspirations are now that they've moved back to the United States and are kind of starting their life over again to some respects. So please enjoy this interview with not the Vaughn family, the Jordan family.
Go ahead, I'm ready. Get started.
All right, so here we are, the Dream 10X podcast, and we are here. We have the privilege to sit and talk with the Vaughn family, or the Jordan family.
The Vaughn family.
The Jordan family. So Cindy and I are on a quest this year to talk to as many people as we can about their dreams, what dreams they might have in their life, and to get a sense for how those dreams affect what they do with their life, what they achieve with their life. And so Cindy and I have dreams, and we've talked about some of our dreams that we've had as younger kids and how they impacted what we did after we graduated from high school and in college. And so now we have 2 adults and their kids with us, and so we'd like to ask you guys what you've dreamed about in your lives and kind of how that's affected you in your lives and what you think you want to do with your lives moving forward. So anybody want to share any dreams that they've had so far?
I think Vaughn volunteered.
I volunteered.
The crazier the better, actually. So.
The crazier? I don't know. I've always been interested in aircraft, of any kind, or even just vehicles, just at all. So at first I was really into fixed wing aircraft. I don't know. Now I think that helicopters more appealing. They're more well-rounded. You can use them in a lot more situations. And
What's a fixed wing aircraft? What does that mean?
It's not out.
Planes?
Yeah, just a plane.
Okay.
The wings don't move. Yeah.
But now what?
So now I'm more into helicopters because I feel that's more useful. Yeah, it's more useful modern day.
I'm making it sense.
Useful in what sense?
Well, because there's always there's a lot more private helicopter pilots, I think, flying around people in the city or whatever.
Okay.
And I feel that's a lot more. You can't fly a plane in the city as easily as you can fly a helicopter. So I feel that'd be a lot better market to get into for going to the private side.
So how old are you?
I'm 16.
And you're a junior in high school?
I'm a sophomore. I'm going to be a junior. Yeah.
You're a rising junior.
Yeah.
So where did your interest in flying come from?
We're both juniors.
Just I don't know. I've just always been.
Did you forget?
In that. It's just been always something that I've always been interested.
You can't pin it to any particular event, or it's just something.
I've always watched World War II films and stuff, and I always looked at that that's super cool, and always been attracted to that kind of stuff.
Cool. Yeah. So in our first podcast, we talked about how I was interested in computers as a kid. And I don't know why. I don't know where that came from because my parents were as non-technical as you could get, but I just had an interest in computers as a kid. So you're kind of the same way. You have an interest in flying, and so now that's driving what you're going to do probably after high school, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna look into that field a lot more and see if I can apply and go into like the military way. See if they can pay for it and I can learn through that way.
So particularly what? Like,
I mean, I still don't know yet. Like, I'm not like 100% certain, but I mean, I'd be down to just do pretty much anything.
mm-hmm. Are your parents pushing you in any direction?
I mean, they want me to start taking flight lessons now, and they're kind of pushing me towards like getting my license now. But other than that, like they're not really pushing me towards a specific branch or anything.
Is there like Civil Air Patrol or something you could?
Yeah, but I don't think it's around here. Like they had Civil Air Patrol back in Germany, and I knew people who were in that, but I haven't seen anything about that here because they don't have any JROTC programs here. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
At least where we live.
Uh-huh. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I don't know.
Do you ever think about that?
No, I just hope I'm not dead. That's like the only.
That's
only
good.
thing.
That's a good goal to have. Still be alive in 10 years. Yes.
I don't know. I definitely want to go like see places and go, on adventures and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been focusing more on asking them what kind of lifestyle they want to live versus what do they want to do or be.
Uh-huh.
Because I think at this age, it's hard to say, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? I think that's a tough question to ask kids.
It is.
And so we just ask, what do you want your lives to be like? I mean, do you want to be somewhere all the time in one place, one location? Do you want to travel? Do you want to have, you want to be out and about? Do you want to be able to go to nice restaurants? Do you want to just, have a real simple life? I think that's going to decide kind of what they do going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I ask my kids that all the time, and they still, I don't know. So I feel stupid asking them that, but I think it's an important question, like, because I ask myself that all the time. So I'm like, I'm gonna ask my kids too. They gotta start thinking about it, because I gotta start thinking about it. What am I gonna do? Where do I want to be in 10 years?
We talk to them all the time about the future, and I've told them before that what I do now didn't exist when I was their age. So to really expect them to project where they're going to be, as a career that they're going to start in 5 years and do for the next 30 years after that it's an impossible ask. I couldn't answer that right now where I'm going to be in 20 years. Hopefully I'll be where I'm at. But, 10 years ago or 5 years ago or, God forbid, 20 years ago, there's no way I could backtrack to all those choices and see that where I am now is where I was supposed to be.
So that's an interesting point. Do you think it's not necessary to have a vision for where you should be in 10 years? You should just go with the flow because you can't ever figure out the way things are going to be in 10 years?
I think it varies for different people. I mean, like our friend Dawn, her daughter knew from the time she was a child she wanted to be a doctor. And it took her, God knows, 6, 8, 10, 12 years to be a doctor. And she was driven by that goal and that accomplishment. Mm-hmm. And some people are driven by that, but I don't think everybody is. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not for sure. My only goal leaving high school was to get out of Oklahoma, period. Join the Navy. They're not going to send me back to Oklahoma, that's for sure. So that was my goal was to get out of there and have a different life. Mm-hmm. The life I was raised with was wonderful. It was a big family, very loving, not abusive. It was nice, but it was small-minded, small town, super religious, and it just wasn't the life I wanted. So I thought anything else was going to be better. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I was looking for more difference than more a singular focused position or employment or position in life.
So did you find that?
Absolutely.
Is that how it unfolded?
Yeah. Well, unfolded, it changed. If change is the only goal, then it should be pretty attainable.
Yeah.
You can always change.
Yeah.
It's harder to hold on to one single thing, I think. If you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a surgeon, that goal, the line to get to be that person is very short.
Yeah.
You have to check all the right boxes, keep everything in line, But if you're more open to a career field that didn't necessarily exist when you were deciding a career day in high school, if you're open to whatever, then should be easy to find.
Well, it's interesting because Gallup did a huge study, and they found that 65% of jobs that don't exist yet for elementary school kids. So it's like, yeah, how do you really decide a career when you don't know what's going to be out there? So that's case in point. Yeah.
I keep seeing things online talking about, all those people who said where they were going to be 5 years ago couldn't be more wrong today.
Yeah.
Because, obviously nobody saw COVID and being stuck at home and the whole workforce infrastructure changing based on something that most people couldn't have predicted. So,
Yeah.
But is it a bad thing? Is
No.
that a bad thing?
No.
To like be heading in one direction and then realize, oh, I got all these other things happening, and
No, I think it's great. I think being flexible and being. I've got a Marine friend who told me one time you have to grow wherever you're planted, or not. If you not grow, you could just be stunted and be resistant and disgruntled with where you are. But the goal is to prosper. So you don't necessarily get to pick where you're planted, but you have to grow wherever you're planted. So I think we, as parents, are trying to teach our kids that. You may not like going to school at this school or being on that team or being with this group, but you have to. I think you have to be flexible and at least attempt to be who you want to be. Not necessarily who people expect you to be or who we expect you to be. We don't have any expectations for our kids other than to. We don't have any expectations.
I have expectations.
We can't get them to go to bed. We can't get them to get up. We can't get them to, But
I've been working at the arena.
they do. They pull their weight. They're super helpful and they're great kids. Obviously we couldn't be happier. But we know parents who are 100%, structured, and they define what their kids are going to do, when they're going to do it, whether it's violin lessons or whether it's karate practice or whether it's whatever. They're living through their kids, or they're dictating a timeline and an event cycle with an expectation that their kid's going to meet some goal that they've set. I don't think that's healthy.
My grandfather told me a story that his dad. So he grew up on a farm in Ohio, and his dad told him, when you grow up, are you going to be a doctor or a lawyer? He gave him two options. He was not going to let him to be a farmer or anything like that. Yeah, he had a choice of those two things, and he ended up being a lawyer because that was, how he thought that fit him the best. And now, so here, listening to your talk, you're like, whatever my kids want to choose, that's fine with them. What do you think has changed since then? Generally speaking, well, so back in my grandfather's day, they didn't want their kids growing up on the farm. They wanted them to be some kind of professional and be successful. So what do you how do you think times are different now from that?
I think
with
times
your
are different
kids?
now because small town life.
Yeah, and you're not telling your kids, hey, I want you to get out of the small town because you're not in the small town anymore.
Right, but they can only judge what they see. So in this small town, the only people who really get to live their best lives are doctors and lawyers.
That makes sense.
But in the world we live in
Right.
now, those aren't the people living their best lives. Somebody develops an app. Some 12-year-old develops an app, and sells it for $300 million, or some TikTok idiot gets 1 million followers and they're an influencer and they make money on that. We don't even comprehend that kind of, lifestyle as a job. So, but that's the world they're growing up in. So, defining somebody's success by what their W-2 says is.
So you see that your perspective is that there's so much more opportunity now for kids that hey, go out and do whatever, find it.
Yeah.
There's just so much stuff,
Makes you
so
happy.
so much potential to be successful now compared to what it used to be.
How do you guys define success?
You can feed yourself.
For yourself? Yeah, that's good.
At a point where you don't have to worry about your own life.
What does that mean to you?
Like, you don't have to worry about financial stability or not having enough money to buy dinner.
So enough money in your bank account to do what you want to do. Yeah.
I mean, it's not all about money, but it's also about, like, having a job that you want to do and living where you want to live.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you say it's not all about money?
Because if you want to have if you want to be successful, you don't want to be successful working in a factory. I mean, unless you want to work in a factory. But nobody really wants to do that. So if you want to be successful, you want to be successful at something you want to do, right? So it's not just about how much money you're making, about what you're doing, and if you want to do it.
So is that like a happiness factor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Satisfaction level.
What do you want to do?
I want to become a chef.
Excellent.
I want to make the best foods,
What did you
share
tell
them with people who will pay me for it.
We'll be-
Where does that come from? Do you know?
I mean, I always thought
Well, first of all, how old are you?
I am 15.
You're 15 and you already know what you want to do.
I believe I know what I want to do. I
Awesome.
know what I wanted to do, so to speak, for a few years. And I don't know. I haven't really thought about much anything else that I've, wanted to do or I thought I might be good at.
Do you recall what made you interested in becoming a chef? Was there any particular thing or event? No?
I don't think there was a moment where I just decided, but
Well, that's cool because I talked to my kids about my kids, and they're like, I don't know what I want to do. So part of my job as a parent is like trying to help them figure it out, and I don't know that I can do that. Like you two both seem to have an idea for what you want to do, and it seems like it just comes organically to some people, and other people they gotta figure it out. I don't know.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't know if being a chef is like
And that's
1,000,000% what I want to
That's
do. But I know
absolutely fine.
Yeah, but I know it's a good path, and it can lead to happy life. And I would like to cook. I wouldn't be against cooking all my life.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
Have you asked them what they want to do next?
Who? My kids? What do you mean next?
Short term.
Yeah,
What do they want to do next?
yeah. They don't want to go to the beach. I don't know. That's what they want to do next.
So they want to live with their mom? Does? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, that's the kind of question
No, I mean,
would ask.
so no, they don't- not forever. College is the next step for all of them,
Because
and
they
getting
want
out
to?
of college.
Or because it's required?
Because I think I mean I don't want to put words in their mouth, but I think it's because they don't know really.
okay.
I'm sorry.
The cat
I'm glad
just
you didn't
attacked
scratch me.
Aiden.
No, I'm good.
I think it's because they don't know what they want to do, and so college buys them time to figure that out, and maybe
It's expensive.
some education will.
By time, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well, that's just something we haven't pushed with the kids.
you haven't pushed college, so is college something that you want to do?
I feel like
Is it
college-
required to do what you want to do?
I feel like college is an important step.
This
into
is so
any good
interesting.
life. I feel like,
Why?
when you want to get a good job that will help you go through life easier, one thing that they're going to look for is college applications, college tuition time, just a good education. Somebody knows what they want to do.
Where does that idea come from? It doesn't come from your parents, apparently, from what I'm hearing.
Well, but we've run that track already.
What?
College track. He's
What do you
got 0 degrees,
Yeah.
0 graduate degrees,
Yeah.
and he makes more money than I do, and I have
Okay.
3 degrees.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell
Because you have
them
an
that
English teacher
college
degree.
is it for success.
Mhm.
Like,
Makes you
it
successful.
doesn't make you successful.
Right.
A good
No, but
work
it-
ethic makes you successful.
But it can help.
Responsibility makes you successful. College is an option. We're not saying don't go,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm saying I'm not going to pay for you to decide what you want to be for 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm asking. Why does he think that it's so important?
I just see it a lot, and a lot of successful people have gone to college. I mean, it's not like college is a bad thing,
Nope.
and I think if it can either really help or, maybe not help,
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather go to college, get that little extra.
An extra push.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair. I mean, but yeah, you don't need college to be successful.
There are a lot of famous chefs who haven't gone to college.
Yeah. What about you? Do you think college is necessary to do what you need to do?
I don't think so at all. Like, especially if you are in like a specialty field, or like you don't really need to go to college, like blacksmithing. I mean, unless you go like a blacksmith college or something, or like plumbing or something like that. Like what's that?
Vocational.
Yeah, something like that. I forgot what the skill was, but it's like those kind of skills. Like, you don't really need to go to college to be successful in those kind of fields. And there are a lot of examples of people who are successful now who have never gone to college.
Can you be a pilot without a college degree?
Yeah, I'm
Really?
pretty sure.
Helicopter?
Yeah, that's
Aviators,
what I
to be
intend to
honest.
do.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
but if I have to,
Military.
I may make the decision now. I still have 2 years to decide, so
Mhm.
I may change my mind later. But right now, I have no intention of doing it because I see people go into debt for no reason. They
Right.
have to pay back a lot of money.
Yep.
And I think I'd rather keep the money
Yeah.
and do what I want.
Right.
But
Right.
they've also got military options. I mean, we've always promoted, if you, because we're not going to pay for college. We might help them out in the beginning if they want, like if he wants to go to the Culinary Institute.
Uh-huh.
But the plan isn't to put them through 4 years of college
Right.
for $60,000
Right.
minimum.
Money for college is a big question. I was honestly, it was an option that I would do some sort of military time to get my college paid for.
Mm.
I mean, it's an option as much as college is. So
That's awesome, though, that you guys are open about that, and there's no ambiguity, and you know that's what you got to do to to get through college.
Well, even
where
then, the
work
4
ethic
years.
comes in, you know?
Yeah.
The paying somebody to sit on their ass and decide.
Yeah.
Doesn't. I wasn't offered that. I mean, my mom said, when I graduate high school, you can go to college, but like your sister ahead of you, I'm not paying for it. My
Mhm.
sister went on a scholarship,
Mm-hmm.
and mom told me, get off your ass and get a scholarship, because I'm not paying for it. I'm
Yeah.
recruiters. So I just didn't want to be in Oklahoma. So
Yeah.
it was, and that's kind of something we've passed down is making your own way.
Mhm.
Because
we can just put them downstairs.
we've raised these guys to be as independent as we possibly can. So
We used to take the train to and from school sometimes.
The train to and from school.
Yeah.
Where?
In Germany. Yeah.
How
We take the subway from our house in Esslingen. We walk down the hill, and I think this was only some mornings. Cats got shit. Some mornings when they couldn't really take us to school because we usually got taken to school. Or
We take you in the mornings.
you'd
It was
take
the
us.
afternoons when
yeah,
you came back.
but yeah,
Germany obviously allowed them to be pretty free with
Mm-hmm.
the age restrictions were a lot less. I mean, they could be out and about at 16.
you can go buy a
15.
child ticket by yourself.
Yeah.
One child ticket, no
Nobody
adult tickets
cared.
for a train. Yeah.
And
Mm.
it was very safe.
Mhm.
So they had a lot of freedom. And then we brought them here, and they can't leave the house without us.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good transition.
It wasn't.
No,
America.
What's been hard about it?
COVID.
Coming from Germany to America right
Yeah.
during COVID.
I think
It
it
was good
just
timing.
2 months of school, and then that was
Yeah,
it.
there's just nothing to do. Like in Germany, you can go downtown, grab beers with your friends and just like chill. But here, you can't
because
you can't do anything.
we're
Yeah,
stuck
but it's
in-
probably like that there now too.
we're stuck in almost
they're
over
open
it.
about
Yeah,
it.
they're
They're open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see my friends posting all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know.
they actually beat it. Yeah.
They had a down curvy. Yeah.
We're still waiting for ours.
So how do you guys define success?
I think
my bar
got
is
it.
probably pretty low, just because of my history. Like, I'm not on drugs. I'm not an alcoholic.
Success.
Yeah,
a giant collection of wine.
yeah. I have everything I've ever wanted,
Yeah.
and I know that if it was just me, I'd be fine on my own. I'm not dependent on anybody. So
I think that's something we should add to our definition of
I
success.
think, I
Being
think
independent.
my criteria is probably my bar is pretty low, so I've way exceeded the bar.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So no other ambitions other than that?
So So
Not saying that that's bad. I mean,
No.
that's great, but
so when I grew up, my mom was kind of an over dreamer. So I'm
good. I want to hear about this over dreaming.
No,
Yeah.
you don't.
So my mom would get really loaded in whatever substance she wanted to do, and
Uh-huh.
she would start talking about some grandiose plan to improve our life. And it lasted for the entire time she was drunk until she passed out, and then we would go probably spiraling afterwards. So we were either losing our house or losing our having to move into different places, or we
Mm.
didn't have food to eat, or no jobs, or we had to move again, or you name it. So at that point, it was just, to me, people that dreamed big dreams or fantastical things it was a farce.
I love this. All right. So I'm like that, but I'm usually doing that sometimes when I'm drunk, sometimes when I'm sober. So what's bad about that?
Yeah, you
I
guys.
wanna
you guys
find out
scare
what's
me.
bad
it's
about that.
It's hard for me to support
Yeah.
you guys sometimes because of that.
So compare us with your mom, or me with your mom, whatever.
It just seems like they're like so many people want to climb Mount Everest.
Right.
So many people die trying.
Right.
What was the ultimate reason to go up there? Just to say you did it?
Mm.
And then why would you put so many other people at risk to do something that you really don't have a reason to do? So I think I see it that way. I think that's why it bothers me, because I'm
That's
just
fair.
like, you have so many other options. You don't need to play with fire. You know, for me, it's just I don't understand it, and I don't want to crush anybody else's dreams, but personally, I just don't.
Yeah, being risk averse is one thing, but most people would think riding horses would be as risky. I mean, Christopher Reeves
Yeah.
regrets his choices, I'm sure. So
But that's why I think I'm having problems with it now.
With
Because
what?
you're worried about the risk. 'Cause
Yeah.
you fell off so
Yeah,
many
I'm
times,
very
yeah.
risk averse.
You're having problems riding horses now?
Yeah,
I fell off a horse. I was fine.
Which is very unique for
fell
you.
off a
very
Because
unique.
as a kid, just for background, you were like 5 or 6, hopped on this horse in the middle of the pasture, no bridle, no sound of nothing, and said, "Woo, let's go!"
Many times I made very bad decisions with horses. Yeah, yeah, it's yeah. I think I didn't realize it was risk averse until I got older. After I had kids, I didn't want to jump horses as much anymore, and then it's gone downhill from there, I think. But overall, I remember when Steve and I were younger, and he used to come back from his very boring job and tell me about his grandiose plans to build whatever, and I had a really hard time supporting any of that, just because I think to myself, it's all words. It's all, there's no background behind it. Nobody's going to do that. You don't have that kind of. You're not Elon Musk or. I don't know, and that's really bad. So I try to just shut up. But my mom was that way. She did it all the time. It was constant. As a kid, when you grow up and you think, oh, I don't know when I'm going to eat again, or if I'm going to have a house to sleep in, and then we're drinking, gross amounts of alcohol, and then telling us, no, we're going to move to Wyoming and we're going to have teepees and we're going to have this big, great, grand lifestyle, and it's going to be so awesome. And then we're going to, and then the next day I'm like, oh, I don't have breakfast. I can't get to school. I'm going to skip another day this year.
Oh man, that is so
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
so I'm a downer.
You're not a downer. Not at all. I just have a very different history.
Very.
But so that's the thing too, like for the whole Ocean Row thing, and I know it freaked you out that we were doing that, and you always supported us 100%. Like you were always behind me, no matter what stupid shit I got myself into. Way before James. Like you've always been behind me 100%, whether or not you agreed with it, you supported it, and that I think is like huge.
So would it be good for me to say? Does that make sense? Are you okay with the statement that it's okay to have good dreams as long as you take care of basic needs for everybody around you first? Or how do you qualify? I still,
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, but I still feel like having big objectives is a good thing on the whole for people.
Just manage
But
your priorities.
can you manage priorities? Like, got to make sure everybody's fed and
Yeah,
safe
Harm
and
to none. Like make sure
first, but still.
Yeah, I think it changes over time. I mean, I've never been a huge dreamer because I was as a kid. As a kid, I remember daydreaming about like this is what my life is going to be like. I was going to be a special forces spy, veterinarian. I mean, like, I had all these grandiose dreams as a kid, and then none of them seemed to work out. And I didn't have the work ethic to push through the harder ones.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think now I think it's okay to have dreams, but if you're 5 foot, 100 pounds, you're probably not going to make it into the NFL. So there has to be some realism to the
There has
dreams.
to be some
I think there has to
realism.
be,
Yeah, that's right. I think that's right.
makes sense.
We've talked about that. Like my mom said, whenever you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. And so I believed that, until I first went after my first big dream, and I didn't make it. And I'm like, holy shit, that's not true.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. It's not true. But I still think it's important to conceive and believe in stuff and shoot for it. Because even though I didn't make that initial goal, I'm a much different person because I went after it than had I not.
Well, I wonder,
Hopefully better person.
do you look at dreams differently, though? Because when you say dream, I think like a base that floats in the sky. Like, I think he knows what I'm talking about. You could build it.
Thank you.
You
But-
can build it.
And so did you think buying this house was a dream?
No.
Yeah, see, I would say this would probably be like an achievable dream versus building a castle in southern Virginia on a piece of abandoned land out in the middle of nowhere that takes an hour and a half to get from the freeway.
Mm-hmm.
Cool idea.
That's why it's a dream.
I know.
We have no idea how we would do something
But
like
that's where
that.
I think that transition goes for
Yeah.
me. Is that
What's
this would-
achievable? What's
achievable and what's not achievable.
It's not bad.
Okay, that's a good. So to me, it's what can I think of that excites me that's I can't see myself achieving. Can I achieve something that I don't think I can achieve? That's to me what's really appealing.
So it's more of the pushing the envelope.
Push the envelope, exactly.
No, nobody cares about achievable dreams. Right.
No, I mean
Anybody
people
can-
do. She does.
No, but you're saying anybody can go out and get a CDL, or anybody can go out and get a
Keep
you know.
somebody off the captain, including me.
get a pilot's license or something like that.
Yeah.
That are achievable. Those are goals, but they're reachable.
And they may
They're
be
not
hard.
dreams.
They may be
Right.
hard to achieve, but still, I mean, people do it all the time. So why not me?
Right.
Kind of thing.
But you're saying
whereas-
that's not your definition of a dream.
It's not my definition of a dream. Everybody's got definitions,
Sure.
different definitions, I guess. But so our focus is on 10x size dreams, things that you can't see yourself achieving, but you got the cojones to think, hey, I'm going to tell people that I want to do that.
That's the hard part.
Yeah,
So 10xing the house into a castle. Yeah.
I think
yeah. So my very first big one was to become an Olympic sculler. And I had no idea, I couldn't see myself doing that, but I went in that direction.
He didn't even know how to skull.
Didn't even know how to skull, yeah. So that was one of them. And then building this castle is our shared, we have no idea how, that just sounds stupid to everybody, including me, but what if? And will that,
We have to have
Well, that-
furniture if we get the castle. Please stick out.
because right now we don't have furniture.
You just move the ones downstairs.
Yeah,
Then
that's
they'll be three houses. The most well-traveled couches in the world. Yeah, I wanted to be an Olympic rider when I was a kid,
Horse?
and I watched
Okay.
that dream quickly
What happened?
fall aside
Okay.
because it's a dream that takes a large amount of money
Mm-hmm.
and time
Connections.
and connections and skill. And even if I had been able to tap into some certain amount of skill, I certainly had zero of the others. So I don't know. That was a hard one to let go because I saw
So how long did you pursue that?
I didn't pursue it. I
Oh.
just dreamt it.
Okay.
But
So
gosh, I think once I hit 30, it was done.
You just gave it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it had changed, right? I had wanted to do it, and then I joined the Navy, and I was like, oh, I'll still get there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got out of the Navy, and then I was like, tried a bunch of other stuff, and it just, I was like, oh, maybe I'll be a trainer instead. Nope, still that, no.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. So my theory is that, okay, you can dream up whatever you want, but you have to do something to try to get there. And if it's so big, you can't even think of what would be my first step. Like, so, and that's what makes them so hard. But you have to take action. There has to be some kind of action to move in that direction.
well, I rode,
You
and I
did.
trained,
Yep, that's true.
and showed, and
Yeah.
So you didn't just do nothing.
She did a lot.
yeah, but I never did anything like to pursue that particular goal. Like I didn't.
No, but you worked on improving your skills as a
Right.
horseman.
Yeah, but
And a
apparently
trainer.
that never ends.
Depends on the horse.
Stupid horses. No. Do you guys have any dreams like that? Big dreams that you don't?
I think a dream that I've had that is at some kind of level, like the kind of dream you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
I think my dream would be to cook with Gordon Ramsay.
Oh.
It's a big one.
Oh, that'll never happen.
I did not have him call you a stupid
Just-
cow. It's cool.
Give up the dream. You're never gonna get there. Just stop.
It's going to be too old by the time.
Then he'll be less famous.
Yeah.
True.
More accessible.
I don't
Yeah.
care.
Wear him down.
He's still one of my favorite.
You just gotta wear him down.
That would be awesome. Because
Aiden found
he's amazing.
A restaurant in London that Gordon Ramsay recommended.
Oh,
and that's
wow.
where we went
The
and ate.
Cold Shed, I think.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was really
Hmm.
good.
I also have a book called Ad Hoc at Home.
Mm-hmm.
It's not from Gordon Ramsay, but it's from another chef, Thomas Keller. It's an amazing chef, and it's an
Wow.
amazing cookbook. We haven't really gotten to use it very much, but I want to be able to use it at some point or at some point in my life.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a cool dream.
What about you, Vaughn?
I think one of mine is remember the one website, Mortar Investments. So there's like this army surplus or something, and I think it's like Czech.
Mine wants to
But they're
listen to the
selling-
podcast.
Old BMPs, you know what those are?
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean
Yeah.
like
They're for like 30 grand.
Nice.
So it's like super cheap. The
Dream
hard part would be
10X
bringing it
.com.
over and like maintaining it.
Yeah.
Dream 10X.
That's like the hard part. I mean, that's like something that I do like way
It's not
later
online yet.
in life. I don't know when I have the money and the time, but I don't know. That's something that I always thought was like really cool to like drive one of those.
Mhm.
Or I don't know. Also, they were selling a MiG 21, but it's not flyable at all. So I think that'd just be cool to have. Just even if it's just sitting in the backyard, just yeah, that's my jet. You know, there's something cool.
We flew with a guy up in Maryland who had all kinds of he had the first he had a Harrier that he took over from the UK piece by piece and first Harrier on American soil up in Maryland. But yeah, he
And
had
he
a bunch
rebuilt
of
And then he rebuilt it.
He rebuilt it, and he was in the process of rebuilding
Yeah,
it when
it's
we
really
when we
cool.
met him. But we got to sit in it, and yeah, and he had
sorry.
what was the L31C or something like that. We flew in.
I
It
keep
was
thinking LC9, but that's my
it was
reverse.
an
That's
L
not the same.
L something, but it was a
Yeah.
Czechoslovakian plane
Yeah,
that,
that's
that
really
he
cool.
also owned that we got to fly in.
Yeah.
So he
Well,
had
we
his
got to fly
own
it.
hangar. He had his own jets in the
Yeah.
hangar. So totally, I mean, somebody else was doing it.
Yeah,
You
totally.
could totally.
It sounds really cool.
Yeah, you could do it.
Their dreams seem a lot more realistic than
Who? Yeah.
their big
You got
dreams
more time.
than his.
What was your big dream?
Where do we begin?
I used to work nights, all alone. I had a 40-minute drive in and a 40-minute drive home, and lots of time to myself to think. So, yeah, I went through the mechanical engineering phase of developing a new type of engine,
Mm-hmm.
theoretically, of course. And using this, based off a rotary engine, if you know what rotary engines are, based off of that, to build this new type of engine, super efficient, super powerful, super everything you would expect when you're designing something. And get to mount that on these giant blades like you would have for a windmill type thing. Originally, it was windmill designed to turn electricity because we lived on a farm and had electricity, But I was going to put up a windmill. It was a crappy idea. Everybody does that. So I designed this engine in my head, of course, and then was going to mount this on a giant platform and make a floating. They had it in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Floating base that they would just cruise around on. I was like 10
I
years ago, I was going to make
love
that. So I would come home and regale her with all the technical design
Great.
choices that I made
Used to put me to sleep.
driving home. And, she'd be snoring like 30 seconds into this conversation. But it was great therapy for me in my alone time and for her when she was trying to go to sleep. So,
It's like a living sleeping pill.
yeah.
It
So.
was a little- Even now, I get tired. I'm like,
Tell me about
even
that
now,
face.
it's
tell me
Yeah.
about the wind bells.
That's really cool.
So what happened?
though.
Oh, it's not achievable.
How do you know?
I'm not an engineer. So, no. It's just working through the mechanical in my head, how engines work and how mechanically, pseudo-mechanically inclined I can be,
Yeah.
how it should work, how it actually works. I can't make things work that are actually supposed to work half the time. Take it apart, put it back together, like, this worked, but I took it apart. And now it doesn't work anymore, so I'm definitely not going to build something out of scratch.
Yeah.
But, no, just same with those type of things.
Yeah.
Build my own castle kind of thing.
Yeah.
But never
Yeah.
pursued it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like this Skybase you're talking about, it takes more than just one type of engineering.
It does.
It takes every type of engineering. So one person doing it is
Yeah. Hell, you need a
technically
plumber out there,
impossible.
too. You need
Oh, that's
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unless you had like the knowledge of 10 lifetimes of different schools in engineering,
Yeah.
you can't do this by yourself.
Or had 10 partners.
Yep.
Yeah. But you were working alone.
Just problems.
Solvable problems.
Yeah.
But, so that was
Something
my
really handy.
grandiose dream, but
I think I was never one to be like your mom, where she had this dream that she would just like, or how you said, like you like one day this would be your life. I never really thought like that. Like I'd always think you might get there. There's no like 100% chance you're gonna get there. There's a million things that could happen differently. There's a very small chance that you're gonna get to where you want to go. So, I mean, you can try.
Yeah, you've
And
had
you-
a lot of doubts about being a chef.
I
know.
did have a lot.
They're both pretty realistic on how things are going to go or how things could go. Or
I'm a dreamer.
so,
But you said you're not a dreamer?
I'm not.
yeah, I don't think either.
I said
of them
I've
are.
had
pretty
Like-
based in reality, I think.
Yeah.
the Gordon Ramsay thing was like a hope, something that might be able to happen.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah, it'd be super cool,
Yeah.
but I doubt it's gonna actually happen.
Hey, no strawberries.
So where do you guys see yourselves in 10 years?
Finished the arena.
Finish what?
Finished with the arena.
The horse arena?
Yeah, I'm finished with that.
We'll probably just be chilling, spending every day on their rocking chair on the front porch.
I'm done with the house repairs. Maybe
I should hope so. 10 years.
I'm sure in 10 years the house is
Yeah.
you haven't seen my
fall
to-do
apart a few
list.
times.
It's a big list.
My parents did, or not my parents, my grandparents did a lot of camping, RV type camping when we were kids. They would take their Suburban and their trailer and they would go off and spend the summer seeing whatever. Spend a week here, a week there, and just move around.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was a great lifestyle. So in 10
Did you
years,
see that?
it'd have to be a 5-star RV for her.
Yes. With
She-
a horse trailer.
Maybe not the rate I'm going.
No, she considers a 3-star hotel camping. So, but something like that. I mean, just a little more relaxed, a little more off the beaten path. But
I think
Yeah.
we both look at things we haven't done yet that we still want to do.
Yeah.
That's
we've
kind of our
spent
dreams.
17 years overseas. We haven't seen most of America.
Yeah.
Haven't seen the Grand Canyon or Niagara, or I've seen Rushmore, but we haven't been to Yosemite. We haven't done lots of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stuff we still want to
Grab
do.
an
Stuff we
RV
want to do,
and-
boys.
Yeah.
Spent a couple of years doing that.
Remember how you said we were gonna go and do a road trip in an RV?
Yeah, we never got it.
Never did that.
No.
We're
We
gonna do it
took
in
2
Europe.
other long trips though.
We did do that, but the RV was like something I was really hoping about because we could just play Xbox as we were driving.
I know. It's all about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're gonna have a driver's license soon, so you can help drive.
Yeah. Golden RV? No.
What was the best place you guys visited in Europe? And would want to go back?
Everywhere.
Ireland
Ireland?
I think my favorite place in
or Scotland.
in Middle Europe was probably like Sicily.
No,
I think that was one of my
in
favorite
Italy?
places.
Yeah, we liked Italy too. I don't think there's a place we could choose.
If we could only go back to one, I don't know. I mean, yeah, either Ireland or Scotland. Just because of the people. I mean, it was beautiful, but the friendliness of the people there over Malta or Sardinia or Czech or
So, yeah.
all the other countries. You know, was it Greece? I mean, that was nice, but you know, Sweden and Denmark and all those places were great, but it's the people that we really connected with.
I know we had it was fun. It was always hard to say, oh yeah, that was it, or that was the place to go back to. People are always like, well, what's your favorite place? And like,
They were all
the
nice in
food
their own
Italy,
way.
the scenery in Austria and Switzerland, and
Mm-hmm.
Every country had its own, thing.
the history everywhere,
Except for
except for Poland. Yeah.
It's a
Sad.
little rough history.
Yeah, Auschwitz wasn't
we
really a
weren't
great
we
trip.
were once we went to Poland.
Yeah, they didn't like us at all.
Remember we went to
Really?
Stonehenge. That was
Yeah,
fun.
Stonehenge.
The Poles blamed us for leaving them
To Russia.
Oh, really?
to Russia after the Marshall Plan, and we supported the rebuilt of Germany, and they were ruled by Russia until '84. They thought we hung them out to dry.
Yeah, I never realized that there was an ice rink on top of the Eiffel Tower. Never realized that.
No.
Also, the crepe stands. I was like, what? Is up here?
The
What's
extra
that?
stand at the bottom.
Yeah.
We walked up that. That was a pain in the ass.
Yeah. My dad, we walked up it quite a few times, and my dad made us count the stairs every freaking time.
Really?
And then Notre Dame too, and
Oh.
had to count the stairs, and I still don't remember how many on either of them.
Did you got up there though?
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh, that's true because now you can't. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I actually, we were with a school field trip during my second year of high school in Germany. We went to this chapel in Ulm.
Mm-hmm.
The cathedral in Ulm.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's supposed to be like
Yeah, one
the
of the
tallest
tallest,
one, and of course I ran to the top first,
Yeah.
ahead of my entire class, and it was just I had tons of pictures I
He
posted
always
on
everything
Instagram.
fast.
Yeah, because I like to have fun.
Quick work.
I mean, I was when I was up there looking down on like all the stuff. It was super cool. It was really nice. I got to enjoy it, and then it started raining.
Yeah.
So, one final note. Do you two have any words of wisdom for people like us who have stupid dreams, crazy stupid dreams? you more well-grounded people.
No, I don't think there's a recipe for anybody. You know, I mean, the way I was raised. I mean, mom and dad divorced when I was too young to remember. You know, mom got a job that she could get, without a college degree. She did that until she moved up to a better job, and then she did that until she moved all the way up the chain until she had to have a college degree to do the next promotion. She went back to school when I was in junior high, working 40, 50 hours a week, driving 2 hours to a community college to finish her degree. I mean, busted her ass, to get up to where she wanted to be. And she got to where she wanted to be, and that was very well driven and work ethic specific, and she achieved her goals. But there were never goals that she set coming out when she was valedictorian of her class in high school. That's not where she wanted to be. That wasn't the path that she chose. That wasn't the roadmap that she laid out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the way I've always been. It not necessarily by choice, more or less just by happenstance, or that I just kind of glommed onto her unchosen, but it worked itself out kind of path. So I don't think anybody could really determine that your choices or your path could be better for you. I mean, I don't believe in the whole life coach thing. You know, I'm sure there are people who can't get out of their own way, and to hear somebody else tell them you need to stop smoking, or you need to stop eating, Chick-fil-A, or you need to stop drinking Diet Coke, or you need to whatever your problem is. I'm sure life coaches have that role, but I don't necessarily think that an outsider can tell you what your dreams are supposed to be or where you're supposed to be pointing your life. So, because at the end of the day, you're going to lay down in bed and you're going to have to live with whatever choices you make, and that other person is just going to go back to their counting the money that you paid for your life coach.
That's right. That's right.
So, words of wisdom? No, not really. Just be happy with your choices. So.
It's very wise.
I think I'm hesitant to say. Like for people who like to dream, like you do, and like her mom did.
Sorry, you didn't mean to classify it.
No, I'm not saying. Moving on. You can dream as much as you want. You can say, this is where I want to be. You can work as hard as you want, but you got to know that there are a million things that can happen to where you might not get there. You won't always end up where you want to be. So
just realize that.
Don't
let it define you.
Yeah.
I mean, failure that's part of it. That's part of achieving your goals.
Success isn't all like completion. There are failures in success.
That's very true. Yeah, very wise.
I'm so smart.
You got anything for us, Liz?
I don't know. I don't.
Differentiate to make us not like your mom.
To make you not like your mom or my mom. Well, I don't think anybody can be like my mom. I don't know. I always tell people just, do the best job you can do. If that's towards any goal or objective, it doesn't matter. I think that's universal. I think just getting through this life and whatever it throws at you is probably, the only thing you can control is you. So you do the best job you can, and you be proud of the effort that you put forth, and then I think that's successful. Whether or not you actually build a castle down on that land in Southern Virginia or not. So, I don't think you guys have that problem, though. I see you guys put a lot of effort into what you do, and you own it, and you really want it, and you work towards it. And I think that's all you can ask for.
And step one, your husband's going to make sure I don't blow myself up on the porch.
Yeah.
I think. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think as you're going through life and as you're growing, some people may not think about this, but the path you're on is always going to keep changing around you. And like Mom said, the only thing you can do is, your best. You can't control life. You can't control what it'll do, what it'll happen, but you can control how well you handle the situation.
Right.
Absolutely.
That was very wise.
Yep.
You trying to run this podcast or what?
I don't know, man.
Well,
I
if
think
Chef
a lot.
fails, he'll be a life coach.
I have,
We should have you guys back on in 10 years.
I have way too many thoughts just going on. Are you hissing at my legs? Go away.
Vaughn, you got any words of wisdom for us?
Eat strawberries.
I don't know. Don't overcommit.
Oh,
Took our
that's
message. And
interesting.
That is interesting.
Why not? What's wrong with overcommit?
I
Means
mean,
everything.
10x.
like you build
10x the
up,
commitment.
like you build up, and then I don't know. I think of it as like you have like a stable job or whatever, and then you just throw everything at like this goal, and you may not make it. And why risk it all when I don't know?
Interesting.
It doesn't make sense to me. I can see other people doing it, but I just put it there.
So if we sold our house, sold everything, and lived on the land full time to try
And
and
then try to
build it,
build
that
a
would be a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, start with that.
Yeah.
Come with me, guys.
I don't think we
But
have
that
any
goes
more
back
room.
to his point about college.
Yeah.
You're going to lay out or borrow,
Yeah.
$100,000
Yeah.
with the expectation at the end you're going to have something.
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
betting on yourself, and
Yeah.
you might have a degree, and you might have
No.
the skills to obtain a job.
I didn't have skills when I graduated.
Mm-mm.
I still don't have skills.
Me neither. I got a doctorate and a ton of that, and I ain't got no skills.
That irritates
Yes,
the shit out of
you
me
do.
because remember how much I used to push him.
Oh
to
yeah!
college.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
All the
I
time,
was
he was like,
constantly-
"Go," and you're
Yeah.
like, "Go."
Let's go, let's go, let's
Really?
go. And I have,
Oh yeah.
I have 2 bachelors and a master's, and he makes more money than I do.
Yep.
Not even joking.
Yep.
Every year, every fucking
And you're better at your job.
Yep.
year.
She's very good at it.
Man, that was good.
She is. I mean, we both have amazing work ethic that I think, for whatever reason, from different perspectives, we developed it on our own. I think the Navy probably helped shape that into a marketable sense. But I mean, her wanting to not be her mother, me wanting to not be, stuck in Oklahoma working some dead end shit job that I, had in high school, digging ditches.
Mhm.
Yeah, that drives you.
That's another good point. How you don't want to be something shapes who you become.
Yeah.
Why not make something that you do want to become shape who you become?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have that option though. I had an assignment in high school and they said you need to write a report on somebody that you look up to.
Mhm.
I didn't have anybody I looked up to.
Mm.
And so, and I didn't realize until I think AFRICOM that I actually discovered somebody that I could look up to.
Mhm.
And that's a difficult, I think, transition for some people. Like I can say those are things I definitely don't want to do.
Yeah.
Parenting is the same way. Okay, I'm not going to be this type of parent,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes you don't know what the type of
Yeah.
parent or the type of person you want to be is because you don't have that role model.
Yeah, that basis.
So actually, there's a lot of research around that it's academic research. Bringing it back to school. Okay. And that's exactly easy. So if you look at a menu, it's really easy. Like you go to the restaurant, you look at a menu. It's really easy to say what you don't want. I
Right.
don't want asparagus. I don't want this. I don't want that. But what I do want is all contingent upon your environment, your surroundings, who you're with, all these other factors. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. From research.
Knew that PhD was valuable.
Damn it.
You just needed a PhD so you could talk to me. It's not always.
It's to reach the autistic people
Exactly.
/ software engineers.
You get a lot of hate for that one.
I know.
All right, on that note, I guess we'll wrap it up. Thank you all very much for talking with us on the mic and agreeing to allow us to use your interview on our website, dream10x.com. Thank you very much.